Welcome in. Episode 4, I believe, of the Mot Sports. With my co-host Connor Gratton. My name's Colin Gratton. We're gonna just jump right into it. We're gonna first get started with the we had the NBA All-Star Weekend last week. We talked about, and we'll get started with our reactions. We'll recap that, and then we'll go into some other news with NFL and whatnot. But first, with the NBA All-Star. Let's just get started with that, Connor. I know you watched a lot of that with the three-point contest, the dunk, all that Saturday night.
Yep, I did watch Saturday night's activities, and I guess from a fan's perspective, critic's perspective, so to speak, I just feel like, do we need something new? I've been just reading online, also just in my head watching the dunk contest specifically. Is it broken? Like, do we need something new? Like, it's the one thing out of the weekend where I was a little bit disappointed. The 3-point contest obviously is a staple that is hard to break, but the dunk contest, I just feel like this is the third year in a row we're getting 4 guys who, if you don't watch basketball, you don't know who they are. It's not like the day where Michael Jordan was winning the dunk contest or Dwight Howard 10 years ago was winning Blake Griffin. Even 4 years ago with Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon winning the dunk contest. I feel like is it broken? Is it out of date? Like, how do you feel on that?
So yeah, they need to either scrap it altogether. Like, they're getting these NBA players that nobody really knows unless you're an avid fan. I mean, we know Cole Anthony and we know Jalen Green, but like Toscano Anderson, nobody knows who that is. And who was the other guy in that dunk contest?
Obi Toppin?
Obi Toppin, the one who won. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nobody really knows who he is. He doesn't even play for the Knicks. So they either need to scrap that and make it a whole different event or get better guys to participate in the dunk contest, because I know it's been around forever, but it's just getting so stale. The quality's really bad. What was it? Didn't Jalen Green have
He had 13 attempts on one dunk.
13 attempts. Like, after 3, you should be done. You should get a 0. You should be out. Like, why is there unlimited attempts on that? Like, and also, why is that the main event? I feel like more people like the 3-point contest because that's where the NBA is going now. It's going more to shooting. It's going more to points, as you can see in the All-Star game. I think the over-under was 320. So it's going more to
I think as long as the dunk contest still exists, it'll always be the grand finale. I think that's just what you hang your hat on for Saturday night All-Star.
I think more people are intrigued with the 3-point contest now than the dunk contest.
Well, now we're getting to. It depends on the guys, like you said. Obviously, there's always reputable shooters with 3-point contests because you don't have much to lose. But guys who we should be making call outs and to go dunk in the dunk contest would be Anthony Edwards, John Morant, Miles Bridges, Donovan Mitchell won it. Would like to see him again.
Yeah, we'd like to see higher profile NBA players in the dunk contest. That's what we need to see. Maybe John Zion can go head to head next year. Just give us something. Give us
Zion. Zion.
Give us a little bit more content so we can get excited about it and not feel really disappointed like pretty much all the fans felt this year. Everybody felt really disappointed in the All-Star weekend, as they should.
Well, Saturday night. If you watch Sunday night,
I'm sorry.
Sunday night saved the Sunday night was the reason why they go to a city every year. The city, it's a bidding. It's a big venue for especially a city like Cleveland. It was their first All-Star game. Yeah. LeBron came to town. NBA 75 anniversary during halftime. That was really cool just to see that a lot of history of basketball there. Just a lot of great history. I really appreciated it just watching basketball in my life, seeing all these guys in one room, seeing all the beef that was still around, with KG and Ray Allen purposely walking by.
Still, man, they like each other.
Beef. There's just, good seeing all that. Steph Curry also, last week on the pod I said, don't be surprised if he put on a show, if it was going to be the Curry special, and it was. He had
16 3-pointers.
16 threes, yeah.
Scored 50
points. I was watching the game. You couldn't guard
2
him.
points shy of Anthony Davis's record. And Team LeBron did win, so that was a good call. I think we all picked Team LeBron, or did Zach pick Durant? I can't remember. think I know I picked LeBron to win that one.
Yeah, but
his
put
team.
me this. Did you couldn't write a better story? Could you not agree with me on this? Where like LeBron James tie game. Well, excuse me, they were up one. Up one. Going to 163 with the new with the new format to honor Kobe.
Yep.
You hit LeBron, hits a turnaround jump shot for the win in Cleveland, and he says Michael Jordan inspired the shot. Michael Jordan was there watching it too with the NBA 75th. It was just very fitting. It was good, great way to end the weekend. Great way to put basketball kind of in the forefront of a lot of things.
Yeah, with everything going on, it's good to celebrate LeBron James and Cleveland and the speculation with that whole situation, because Cleveland says they don't want him back, but they do want him back, and if they get, there's a whole different story to that. But it's good to see LeBron, do that in Cleveland, in his hometown, with so much history he's built there. And good to see Curry just shoot lights out. LeBron's going to pick Curry first pick every year until he retires. Because all he does is shoot, and there's no defense. So, it's a perfect stage for Curry to get back on track. So, recapping the All-Star weekend, we had the first night, event, I think we had the Team Skills Challenge. I had the Team Rooks. I think the Cavs took that. So, I had the Rooks doing that. But then we had the 3-point. I was a little shocked by Karl Anthony Towns winning that over.
Yeah, plus 1,200.
Yeah,
the
plus
set
1,200
shot.
odds. That was we did not talk about that at all. We just wrote him off.
We wrote him off
big man.
100%. He shoots 40% from three. It's not really his bread and butter is to go shoot 6-7 threes a game, but it's part of what is making the NBA the NBA is
right.
You can be 6'1" to 7 foot, and everyone can shoot the three at the same clip.
Right.
That's where the game's going. So it's where it's been, in my opinion. So.
And then we had the dunk contest with Obi Toppin taking that. Honestly, I didn't watch much of it. I turned it off after the first round. Just wasn't entertained. I was like, I'll just save my time for the Sunday night game. And LeBron, stole the fans, and at least it was a good competitive game.
It was a great game.
At least Durant's team, even though he wasn't playing, if he's playing, I think it could be a little different. KD's team could have taken it if he's playing. So I think that was at least entertaining and at least saved the weekend. So, all right. Maybe the fans should we got a comment from Mick here. Maybe the fans should get to vote for the slam dunk contest contestants. Yeah, dude. Would love for the fans to vote on that. We would vote pretty much. If we did, I think the athletes would still decline that, because I think that these athletes are still being given the opportunity or given the choice to partake in the dunk contest. I just think a lot of them are like, nah, it's not worth it, or they don't want to. I don't know. Maybe they think they're going to embarrass themselves, or they just don't want to put themselves out there. Like, I don't know why these high-profile players aren't partaking in it. So
yeah, I think it's more, like you said, due to the fact of not wanting to lose, not wanting to embarrass themselves, so to speak. But so if the fans got to choose, you can make it a little fun thing. How now we have the draft for the All-Star teams, 2 weeks before the game, where the captains pick their teams. You could have a bracket of fan votes of 8 guys, and you can kind of poll, matchups to get down to the 4 guys that you want to dunk. That would be.
Yeah, if the fans voted on that, it would definitely be worth it. I think the NBA should look to do that.
I've also wanted to see a 1v1 or a 3v3 type of competition too. Not like the skills challenge, literally a one-on-one game.
That'd be interesting too.
I wanted to do it for the last All-Star spot.
Oh, wow.
You want to be an All-Star, go prove it.
Yeah,
type
right.
deal. Yeah, that's that. I've always been a big fan of playing one-on-one at the park, playing to 11. Everything's 1 points, no fouls. That's what I always wanted to see.
Yeah, well.
Who wants to be an All-Star?
NBA is not going to do that, so. But yeah, I think the fans getting a vote would be great. We would have, we would actually have guys that we've heard of in the All-Star contest.
Correct.
Or, sorry, in the dunk contest for the All-Star weekend. We'd have guys that are worth watching and more high-profile names. So yeah, that's a good shout, Mick. We agree with you. The fans should get a vote on that. So yeah, we pretty much recapped the NBA All-Star Weekend for what it was. It was good. It was until the last night, which was saved by LeBron, as it usually is.
Curry, LeBron, good.
Yep.
NBA 75th at halftime. That
Yeah.
also was a great thing to see during the weekend.
So next thing we have to talk about is what happened Sunday afternoon, this past Sunday afternoon, when Michigan played against Wisconsin.
Do I have to talk about it? Do I have
as a
to?
Michigan fan, you have to. I want to
know.
hear your thoughts. You have to. I'm surprised you haven't wrote an article about it yet, but hey, that's okay. So we're going to talk about the Juwan Howard situation and the confrontation he had with Wisconsin coach Greg Gard after their game. And if Louise could show that video or go to the ESPN link, we can look at the video and then let everybody see what happened. Thank you, sir.
Right of the paint, shot clock at 10. Johnny with a dig from Houston.
Is this the actual video?
Shooting, hitting, front rim, and it went through for Johnny Davis. He has 20.
Today we're watching Johnny Davis torch us from the mid-range. I watched it all Sunday.
I like Johnny Davis, dude. He's really good for Wisconsin. Big Ten Player of the Year.
We'll get to that when we get to our college basketball predictions. We'll get to that for sure.
For Davison, 61-46 Wisconsin. 5:37 remaining.
All right, that was not the video. I apologize. I thought it was on top of the video there. But anyway, it showed at the end of the game there, Juwan Howard was upset that Wisconsin's coach called a timeout with 10 seconds left. So then in the end of the game handshake, Greg Gard kind of put his arm on Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard did not like that. He said they both put their hands on each other's chests, pretty much saying, "Don't touch me." And then the whole bunch of players came around them. And then in that big scuffle, Juwan Howard took a swing and hit an assistant coach on Wisconsin. So in result, Juwan Howard was suspended for the rest of the season for that, which was 5 games. I don't think they make the postseason because they'd have to win 3 out of their next 5 to make it. So I don't think they make the postseason. But if they were, I don't think he would partake in March either. I think they would extend that all the way through the season. Wisconsin's coach was only suspended 1 game, so it can be argued that he caused it. But yeah, Connor, what do you think about Juwan Howard's actions? Do you think it was warranted?
It's never warranted. It's not when there's a reason why University of Michigan is always on CBS on a Sunday afternoon. There's always a reason. Like they're always on the primetime games, ESPN, middle of the week, Big Ten. Michigan's one of the top 5, top 10 college basketball schools in the country especially in the last 10 years with our resume and who we are as a program. And if you're a true Michigan fan, I'm a Michigan man. It means I'm a blue collar, I'm a respectful, and I do things the right way. I lead by example. And I get it. He was in the heat of the moment. It was more so, he was upset. He's upset with our whole season. And I think it finally got the best of him. We had reserves in at the last 15 seconds, and we're still running a full court press. Like, come on. Like, we're down 15. Right. We lost the game. It happens.
What annoyed me was he said in the post game, he didn't apologize, first of all.
I was getting there. Yeah, I was getting there. Yeah, you're right, though. I can't dispute what he said. He didn't even acknowledge the situation. He didn't really think he was wrong, which he'll go back and we'll talk behind the scenes, and he'll say the right things. Now, this is the second incident in the last 2 years with him, so it's almost like the 3 strikes you're out rule. You got 1 more strike, and then also if you don't win, winning cures everything in sports.
As 1 more strike, take that literally. He does not have 1 more strike. if he actually strikes somebody again.
No, I didn't. I didn't mean literally.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean.
So like last year, okay, when he says he's got one more strike, let's back up. So last year against Maryland, and I think it was the Big Ten tournament.
It was the Big Ten tournament. Yep.
Big Ten tournament.
Big Ten
Mark
tournament.
Turgeon, Maryland coach, called a timeout, or he did something that upset Juwan Howard, and Juwan Howard went over to the huddle during the game and screamed in Mark Turgeon's face, "I'll fucking kill you." Word for word what he said.
Yeah.
There were a lot of witnesses. So, I mean, this is not the first time Juwan Howard's acted on impulse. I mean, he needs to control himself and be a mentor to these young kids, and it's really representing the Michigan basketball program the wrong way. And this isn't the Fab Five anymore. You can't get away with whatever you want to do. It's 30 years later, man. You can't just swing on other coaches. And I think he knows that. I think he's remorseful. I think he will be. I think he's learned his lesson. But unfortunately...
Do you think so? Like, I'm going to ask you...
Hey, welcome in, Zach. Talking about your Wolverines and Juwan Howard's actions last weekend.
Colin, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think handshake lines should be eliminated in college basketball?
Why? What's the big deal on shaking somebody's hand after a game? Good game.
I've seen it. I've seen it surface. I mean, NBA players, they don't do it. They go talk to their boys after the game, like they're, Trae Young. I'm watching this Bulls-Hawks game.
In the NFL, the coaches go and shake each other's hand after a game. I believe in all sports, go shake each other's hand to show respect for the team. Okay. Yes, it's always been like that. Just don't be a sore loser. There's a winner and there's a loser in every game. Don't be a sore loser. Just take your loss with pride and move on. Wisconsin was the better team that day, 100%. Like, I don't know why he was so upset.
It's been boiling up. It's our whole season. Our whole season has been a detriment in terms of our performance.
It's his own fault. He needs to recruit better, but we'll get to that when we talk about how they don't make the NCAA tournament in March. So Zach, as a Michigan fan, because I'm the only Sparty fan here, Tom Izzo would never. But Zach, as a Michigan fan, what do you think about Juwan Howard's actions last weekend with the Wisconsin coach?
Well, I was going to say, first of all, sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. Cam and Mike stopped working, but we're all set to go now. Second, I was a little disappointed, to be honest. Like, not gonna lie. With the kind of program that Michigan is and the rich history and tradition and everything, you gotta expect a little better behavior from the guys who run the teams, the coaches in particular. But at the same time, he still is a relatively new coach, and mistakes are going to be made. Unfortunately, one of this magnitude wasn't preferred, but I mean, I'm sure he'll learn from it, man. And if not, then maybe we got to look elsewhere. But I think the suspension is justified. I think 5 games is what he was going to get before it was even handed out. I mean, it's more than a slap on a wrist, but at the same time, it's not like overboard. So,
I think if they make the tournament, he'll be suspended for that too. If they win 3 out of their last 5, but 5 games.
Personally, with me, sorry to interrupt you guys, but but we've already been in Michigan. We've already seen that. We've been there. We remember the Malice at the Palace. We don't need to see any of that anymore. We don't. It's not part. It's take. I don't care if you're, Juwan Howard, or if you're, you're Rick Pitino at Ionia playing, whoever Ionia, the Gales play, whoever they play, Hartford, whoever they play.
Ionia Gales.
Yeah, whoever they play.
Huge fan.
It's not. You can be on the biggest stage or the smallest stage, but your actions still, they matter.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right though. The suspension should be longer than 5 games. You hit a guy and you're getting paid millions of dollars to coach and be a mentor and be a leader and be a representation of the university and be a representation of all these kids and all their families and everything. And you're supposed to be the guy that you look up to, that you strive to be an example for. And if you go out and do that, you're defeating the purpose of even really, putting on the gear to coach, putting on the Michigan maize and blue. You're defeating the purpose of why you're there, the why behind why you coach and why you do what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I said that right after the game he should arguably be fired because it's not his first offense. And we did say earlier, Zach, about the offense he had against the Maryland coach last year when he went over to the huddle and said he'll kill him during a game because he can't control his temper. And I think that the 5-game suspension was just kind of let's just get through this season and revisit this in the summer. I'm sure he's got to do other stuff behind closed doors that nobody knows about. So hopefully Juwan gets the help that he needs in terms of controlling his anger and still is a good coach for Michigan basketball. Because, he's a good coach, but you got to do it. You got to be a good example for the team and give a good image for the university. And Michigan's not a university that takes that lightly. They pride themselves on their image and their reputation.
Michigan men. It travels. That travels. Being a Michigan man, it travels.
So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. Unless you guys have something else you guys want to add, we can move forward.
The only segue you can really move on from that is, do you eliminate the handshake lines? Like I said, last year during COVID, you waved by, you got on. These guys just went to battle for 40 minutes.
Why eliminate them? To avoid stuff like that? That stuff shouldn't be happening anyway.
But it also creates the opportunity for it to happen. It's not that we know that it shouldn't happen.
Well, Juwan Howard went over to the huddle during a timeout last year. What's your excuse for that, to prevent that from happening?
I can't prevent that, but the handshake is the most recent controversy, recent topics. We'll talk about that.
Every game we ever played growing up, every sport we all played, football, basketball, soccer, we shook the hands of the other team that beat us or we beat, and the coaches shook hands. And, that's just tradition, man. I don't think we should change tradition because a coach can't control his anger. That's just what I think.
I see it surfacing right now with a lot of
I did see Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing did come out and say.
Patrick Ewing did say that, yes.
The handshake lines should be eliminated. I don't know what his reasoning was, but he did
his
say
reasoning was due to just basically I just read the article the other day. He said it was almost like in the heat of the battle where we're going from hating each other to going to shake hands with COVID as well. He was just trying to. He doesn't like shaking hands. He doesn't like doing it.
He was trying to take the light off Juwan.
I think so.
Anyway, we'll move on.
Well, it's not surprising coming from Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, I know, right? Georgetown's
He's not known for his good sportsmanship necessarily.
Exactly. He's not. I don't remember him. I don't know. I just don't think that we should eliminate that at all, and I think that should stay in sports because that's the only time I've seen a coach swing at another coach in the last couple of years. Just because of one incident, I don't think we should eliminate that. But we can move on to another topic. Move on to another topic that's going on in the NFL right now. Since there wasn't a lot of NBA games this week with the break, or there wasn't a lot of games this week, we'll talk about a legal issue that's been going on. So the legal issue is Brian Flores, the ex-coach of the Miami Dolphins, the former coach. He filed a class action lawsuit on February 1st against the NFL and all 32 teams. He alleging them for racial discrimination in the hiring processes across the league. In this suit, he specifically named the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Broncos, who he had interviewed with in the past, for discrimination, and cited text messages between himself and the Patriots coach as well, which we can talk about. So this is a big issue right now. I applaud Brian Flores for putting his status aside as a coach of a team and, to voice a bigger issue in the NFL right now, which, I believe there is discrimination in the hiring processes, and these minority coaches aren't given a fair chance to coach these NFL teams. They're not even getting a fair interview. What do you guys think about this right now? What's going on in the league?
I'll let
I'll let
Zach
you
go
go
first,
first,
and I'll
Connor.
go.
You said what? Sorry, Zach.
I was gonna say I was gonna let Con go first.
You
and
want
then
me to
said
go?
I could
I'm
go
more than
first, so-
happy to. I'm more than happy to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, they adopted a rule just to interview minorities in football, so it's a problem that isn't going away, and it should. You should want to hire the right person for the job. Mm-hmm. The fact that the only minority head coach right now in football, I think Lovie Smith got hired by the Texans.
He did.
There's but other than
three.
him, it's Tomlin.
Rivera.
And Ron Rivera. But Mike Tomlin, the one that was the only one that kept his job from last year to this year, not a new coach, and Ron Rivera. But, Mike Tomlin, where he went to go, where now Flores is going to go coach.
Yep.
But, I just feel like there needs to be a significant change in the NFL when it comes to the process.
Mm-hmm.
And, kind of reminds me of, if you ever watched the show Ballers.
Oh, yeah, I love that show.
This is real life, what that show kind of is deriving, and the message is trying to send to
absolutely
to the NFL, and how the NFL is, at times they're fucked up. So
yeah, the NFL did release a statement saying the claims are without merit, but I don't know, based on what Flores has to say and his data to back it up, I'm going to side with Flores in this case. I mean, he seems like a man of very strong character, and he's not going to just say something for no reason. He's going to have proof to back this up. It's also said that there is a Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
So Rooney Rule was invented to hire minority coaches and give minority coaches a fair opportunity in the interview process. All NFL teams have to interview at least one minority coach before they can hire their next coach. So I think that's actually kind of sad that there even is a rule in place for that. Like that shouldn't even be a rule. Like that just shows how biased it is and how these owners operate, that we have to make a rule to give minorities a fair chance in the world of the NFL and the coaching. The suit also alleges that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered Flores $100,000 for each of the team's losses in 2019 in hopes of improving Miami's draft position in 2020. It also alleges that Ross urged Flores to tamper with a prominent quarterback, and after Flores refused to do so, set up an impromptu meeting between Flores and the quarterback. So the owner was trying to get Flores to do all these things, and he actually tried to get him to sign an NDA once he got fired from Miami, describing these things, and he declined to sign that NDA, we applaud Brian Flores for that. Yeah, so, I mean, Flores has a lot of ammunition here with this suit against the NFL, and it's not going away, and I applaud him for, sticking up, knowing he's not going to get a chance to probably be a coach of an NFL team again, but in 10 years, everyone's going to know who he is because of his actions right now. He's trying to create a more fair workplace for the NFL coaches. Because there's a number of assistants right now that deserve to be NFL head coaches.
And there's more stories to tell. It's a domino effect. When one big story happens, the next domino falls. You can't say he might not be a head coach again. He's been in the league 18 years. He's a good coach. He had no business losing his job in Miami.
We thought Colin Kaepernick was going to be a quarterback again, too.
Huh?
We thought Colin Kaepernick was going to get another chance, too, man. Until the owners...
That's not an apples and orange issue.
They're both racial issues.
Yeah, but Colin Kaepernick, he showed up to tryouts late. He never took it seriously. He was more carried about his brand and his image than to play quarterback again.
But his talent was better than a lot of the backups in the league.
But if you don't show up on time and you don't take the right preparation to play,
I guess so.
Because it's not like we don't have a lot of African American quarterbacks in the NFL. They're out. The top, out of the top 15 quarterbacks, half of them are over half.
Yeah.
Over half.
I just think it's the same area where he wasn't given a fair chance after taking a stand for what he believed in, like Flores is right now. He's taken a stand firmly for what he believes in and that he was discriminated against in the hiring process. So, Zach, what do you think about this whole situation here? We'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Colin. I'm definitely on Flores' side here. I believe there could be an improvement with
Mm-hmm.
the amount of diversity amongst the coaching ranks as far as like
Mm-hmm.
ethnicity and race and stuff. And all I can think about is certain examples of guys in the past, such as Cliff Kingsbury, for example. When Cardinals were interviewing him and we're in the process of getting him the job, I mean, what did he really do at Texas Tech? You know, like, yeah, he was a great offensive mind. Yes, he had the close relationship with Kyler Murray, that kind of thing. But, I mean, was he really that qualified of a candidate? I mean, I feel like they
No.
could have went elsewhere. And, I mean, I look at other guys such as, like, Matt Nagy in Chicago. He's not there no more, obviously, but I mean, he got the gig because he was a coordinator for the Chiefs. I mean, I don't
Yep.
know. I
Yep.
feel like there's plenty of very deserving candidates that get overlooked,
Correct.
and I can't quite articulate why and say why necessarily because none of us know the exact reason why, but the correlation seems to be race. Depending on the race you are, could help either deter you from landing a certain position or it could help benefit you from garnering a certain position. And this
Mm-hmm.
is just football, you know. Like I mean, it's other sports too, but we're just discussing football right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, it's really interesting to see like how the NFL can go about changing this because yes, they have the Rooney Rule, but I mean, is that really that effective from what we've
No,
seen thus far?
it's not at
Right.
all.
I was gonna say I'm not quite sure. So
If it was effective, we wouldn't be talking about it. Yeah,
right, but
until the
yeah, I mean,
owners.
I'm definitely on Flores' side though because
Yeah.
I feel like this is another case of you know the big hand, so to speak, like striking down the small guy, you know, the small
Mm-hmm.
voice. And I like rooting for the little. I like rooting for the little guy, the underdog. So like, I hope Flores can, even if he don't win the case, I hope that he can at least like really ignite and spark the change that's needed.
And I believe he will. I mean, until we see the ownership change in the NFL, because a lot of old white owners are still existing. Until we see ownership change, we're not going to see any change for a few years. We need to see the ownership change. So, like the NBA, you've got a lot of diversified owners in the NBA. So, with diversified owners, you get diversity in the coaching ranks. For some reason, that's just how it is. And until we see old white owners, start trickling away, and we start seeing minorities own teams, we're not going to start seeing minorities become coaches. That's unfortunately just how it is because the owners have just as much say on who the GM is going to be. And if the owner controls the GM controls the coach. So until we see that change, we're not gonna see a lot of change in this. But Flores is going about this the right way, standing up for what he believes in. And I'm glad the Steelers gave him a chance. The Pittsburgh Steelers just hired him as a defensive assistant coach, current Steelers assistant.
Yeah,
Yep. Senior
yeah,
defensive
senior
assistant.
defensive assistant for linebackers, I think.
Let's
Like
be real.
he's working with
He'll be the D
linebackers.
coordinator. Let's be real. He'll be the D coordinator with Tomlin. They're gonna be nice over there next year together. And it's good to see
Yeah, I hope
Tomlin,
so, man.
the only minority coach, convince the owner to give Flores a chance right now because no team was going to touch him. I mean, he had interviews with the Texans, the Saints, and who else? The Bears? Giants.
Yeah, the thing with the Giants is they hired their guy. They knew they wanted the Bills, Brian DeBole.
Yep.
I don't know if I said his
Brian
name right,
Dable.
but they wanted him, but they had to fulfill the Rooney Rule. They didn't fulfill it yet.
Right.
So they brought Flores in. And Bill Belichick texted the wrong Bryant. He texted Flores saying congrats on the job that Thursday.
And his interview hadn't even happened.
Flores is like, I haven't interviewed there yet. And then Bill sent the wrong text. That's what Flores said. Bill Belichick sent the wrong text. So like you're only interviewing to fulfill a rule. You're not interviewing for the right reason. So we got to get back to it goes back to your argument what you just said.
Yeah, you already have your mind made up.
There's no business for Leslie Frazier, defensive coordinator for the Bills. There's no reason he's not having a job. No reason for it.
For the Chiefs.
Yep, Kansas City offensive coordinator. No reason he should. Also, another minority coach is Robert Saleh for the Jets too.
Oh, right.
But
I'm talking about like African American coaches.
Correct.
There is one, and it's Mike Tomlin, who's been there for like 15 years.
One of the longest tenured head coaches. Morris is deserving of a job too.
Yeah, Raheem Morris is good. There's a lot of good candidates out there that deserve the opportunity.
Todd Bowles.
So until we see, I don't know. I just hope that we're going to keep you guys updated with this stuff as it comes out throughout the summer with the Flores, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to see a lot of stories coming out about how other coaches were discriminated against in the hiring process. We're going to see other stories and anecdotes about these coaches, and hopefully that we'll start seeing some change in the NFL. I mean, It's 2022. It's about time we start seeing some change in the coaching ranks and give a better image for the NFL than what it currently is.
Yeah, kudos to the Steelers for giving Flores that gig, man.
We got another question here. I'll put it up on the screen so we can all see. I don't understand how this would be the only position in the NFL where discrimination occurs unless it's all about who you know in that position. Well, head coaches are they're seen as the face of the franchise a lot of the times, and this probably is not the only position in the NFL where discrimination occurs. But for some reason, it gets the most attention because the head coach is,
the head of the franchise.
Head of the franchise, leader of the team, pretty much voice of the team. And a lot of these owners want the voice of the team to be a white man because a lot of these owners are white, and that's just how it's been for, 60 plus years now since the NFL's existed. And yeah, this is probably not the only position in the NFL where discrimination occurs, but this is the position in the NFL where racial discrimination occurs. We have the whole male-female discrimination at the lower ranks, which we can maybe dig into for another episode, but the only reason why this head coaching position is being discriminated against for African Americans and minorities is because of the owners. The owners do not want them to be head coaches of their franchises. Not sure why they don't. They just don't. And Brian Flores is trying to change that. He's got a lot of ammo. He's going to use Bill's text against him, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. That kind of triggered this whole thing to start with that text message. And, yeah.
I mean, I thought he did a good job with the Dolphins, man.
Oh, great job.
I thought Flores did a phenomenal job with the Dolphins. So there's no reason he shouldn't be an NFL head coach somewhere else right now.
Correct.
You got the owner offering you money to lose, and you pretty much say, fuck you, and then you start winning games to fuck over their own draft pick. That's wonderful. I love to see it. And that owner should get canned, not Brian Flores. That's not fair. Why is he not being permanently removed for offering a head coach money to lose games for a higher draft pick? That's terrible for the image of the NFL. You're rewarding losing?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I think there's just a lot of problems in the NFL, man. It's long overdue. A lot of the problems are long overdue. But like you said, it all starts with ownership. If ownership changes, hopefully we'll see change happens. But until ownership changes, where you can't tell someone not to own a team, they have equitable rights in that team. They have equitable stakes in the franchise. They purchase it. It's their.
I'm not sure what Roger Goodell could do, but I would love to hear him come out and make a statement about this and see what he has to say. Unless he already has, and I didn't catch it, but I don't think he's come out and made a statement yet about this.
I don't think he has. I don't think he has yet.
Yeah. Love to hear what
Not
Roger
him
Goodell
personally,
wants.
but the NFL has come out with statements, though.
Yeah, but I would love to hear him attack this head on and really
personally, yeah,
provide clarity on this situation for us. But yeah, anything else you guys want to add about this? I feel like we covered this pretty well and covered all the angles of it.
No, just
Okay.
like you said, man. It's an unfortunate situation where the league's at with it. But kudos to Flores for standing up, and maybe we'll see more coaches here in the off season. Maybe this isn't the last thing we hear from coaches,
Right.
and maybe this isn't the last story we'll hear. Like I said, it's a domino effect. When one domino falls, it'll be nice to hear other people's stories that have also experienced it to kind of light a fire under the NFL and create some change. Maybe that can help.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Well, anyway, feel free to follow us on Twitter at MottMedia1, Instagram at MottMedia1, and TikTok at MottMedia, as you see on the scroll down there below. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. We'll get back to you guys next Thursday. If you guys are all good next Thursday, we'll get back to you guys same time. We'll have some nice topics. We'll get some March Madness previews coming up since March will be right around the corner. And we'll have some other fun stuff to talk about. But thanks for joining in, guys. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right, gentlemen.
Have a good one.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.